It's reported that a group of 3 women went to spend the weekend at an Airbnb in Ocherius with the suspect and 2 of his friends. They went to a nightclub in Ocherius and drank alcoholic beverages before returning to the Airbnb about 6 Saturday morning. The females reportedly went into a room by themselves and decided not to stay with any of the males. It was alleged that one of the suspects pointed a firearm at one of the women and demanded sex. Another suspect reportedly raped the woman. The 3 complainants were reportedly locked up in the house by the 3 men. The police were contacted. On arrival of the police, 2 of the suspects fled, leaving the 3rd man behind. The man initially refused to allow the police inside. They were eventually granted access, after which he was arrested. The girls were taken to the Ocherius police station where their statements were recorded and medical assistance secured.
Welcome to Crime Time News and Entertainment with a Buzz. So the audio that you just heard is of an incident that took place in Ocherius, where it is said that a group of at least 3 men, they had some sorts of Airbnb that they rented. They had spoken to some young ladies. I am going to assume it is more than 3. The arrangement was that they were going to rent this Airbnb. The young lady would join them over the weekend. They would go out, party, and BS. That is what I am assuming. My spidey instincts, street instincts, told me that was the plan. However, it seems as if that plan was not fully executed. Yes, they joined them at the Airbnb, and yes, they went out partying. Maybe on Friday, came back in 6 a.m., which would have been Saturday morning. However, it seems as if Saturday morning at that time, one of the young men, or at least all of the young men, were requesting some sorts of SEXUAL favor for room and board and also the liquor that these ladies consume at that party in which they went to. It seems as if those favors, meaning SEXUALLY, were not forthcoming. One of the young men decided that he was going to wheel and pop off some sorts of tool, pointed at the girl and demand SEX under duress. Apparently, these young ladies were acting boisterous, did not want to give in to the requests. Some sorts of popo was called. Maybe the neighbors heard and summoned the popo. When the popo came, 2 of the men were gone. One of the men that was inside that said Airbnb refused to let in the popo. Eventually, you know that the popo were not going to leave. They arrested this man. They took all ladies to the popo station, took them to the hospital and did some sorts of swab for some sorts of SEXUALABUSE. Now people, here's the thing. No means no. And even if somebody lures you on, teases you 99%, then what that 1% in which you're thinking that, yes, you are going to get some, and then she says no. She throws some sorts of monkey wrench into the program. No means no. So my point is this. Even if you met this girl, she a pal off on social media where all sorts of impy skimpy. I go on like she have SEX trade show. She'll tell you what she going to do with her mouth, what she going to do with her pums, rate, lele, blue, blah, bling. And then when you meet her or that night off that you thought that you was going to get something, she switched, she changed, she have a different stance. It means that you should accept. So even if you pay $1,000 US for the Airbnb, even if you take her to the party and you buy all sorts of top shelf, NSA, Belvedere, you name it, no still means no. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it is just the cold hard facts. So here's the thing. A lot of these young ladies, they are on social media. They are looking for unsuspecting victims. They want to use these victims, meaning that, yes, they don't mind going to the Airbnb. Yes, they don't mind driving in these pretty car, fancy car, European whips. And yes, they don't mind being treated to dinner and date and all sorts of stuff. However, in their intention, they are not going to give up any sorts of sex, and they have the right to choose. So therefore, do not misunderstand me. A lot of times, being familiar with the court system in Jamaica, I have heard about a whole lot of these cases. Usually, the defense lawyer will have a field day. He will more than likely shame these victims who are already victims, saying that, say you have some sorts of SLUTISH mentality, and you should not have put in the window of the store what you're advertising, what you're not willing to give up. So therefore, a lot of times these young ladies will not show up to court just under shame. So my point is this, and the message is this. Please, nobody has time for anybody to give up anybody. Give them Airbnb, pay for this, pay for that, take them go party, buy them this, buy them that, take them to the most fancy restaurants, and then at the end of the day, you gave an impression that something was going to go on, and even if you change your mind, you have the right to do so. However, in a sport, there's a thing that is called taunting. So therefore, don't rub any sorts of butter upon puss mouth. And again, my disclaimer, no means no, but me just I say, don't start no ish, won't be no ish. And I say this to say that at the end of the day, these young ladies knew who they were dealing with. They knew that these men or these youths that were at the Airbnb were not any sorts of decent Sagicor worker. More than likely, they are coming from the files of TikTok or the choppery. So we can come to the conclusion that these young ladies were looking for a night of fun, want to go to Airbnb, want to go to party, want to go to expensive restaurants. And these young men were looking for PUMS and SEXUAL favor in return. But like the saying goes, thief from thief, God laugh. Both of them had intentions. One of them paid out, or one said paid out, did the dining and whining and partying. However, they did not get anything in return. So the moral of the story is this. There is no sorts of guarantee in life other than taxes and DEATH. Most importantly, the people might look, meaning the girls, looking somebody to exploit. And the men were also looking someone to exploit. SEXUALLY. So therefore, thief from thief, God laugh, even though these young ladies are victims. So like I've always said, don't start no ish, won't be no ish. Point blank and period.
Him not feel no way and him not search nobody.
You saw him yesterday? You saw him yesterday?
Him the out here so we there. Him the out here so we there. What you there? Him the out here so him not talk. Him not talk. Him not business. Him just there side. Him not business.
So he wasn't helping her to look?
Because of talk. Because he say him look suspicious.
Yeah.
Him suspect him.
Missing woman found in shallow grave sibling arrested.
So the next thing that is popping in the news and straight out of the files of Sorry for Maga Dog, them turn around and bite you. So there was a very kind lady, her name is Sonia Beverly. She lives in a place called Retreat, Glengoff, that is in St. Catherine. She had 4 daughters herself. She adopted a young youth, took him in, make him go to primary school, go to high school. They were there for a couple of decades. However, things made a very drastic change on or about the 28th of September, 2024. When this lady, Sonia Beverly, realized that her daughter did not come home. She has said to herself, this is very strange. This daughter is very close to us. This daughter, whenever she goes anywhere, she would call and check in and make we know that she's all right or she's here or there. Based on what family members said, when they realized she did not show up for a couple of days, they went out, they called the Popo, made official reports, and then they went searching in the community. One of those persons that would help in the search, his name is Jukit, that is what he's known on in the street. He would also assist in the search. Them search Friday, Saturday, Sunday. None at all. It seems as if the mother instinct kicked in. She felt as if this youth have something to do with it, so she asked him and he denied. As a matter of fact, this is how wicked this youth is. There was even a prayer service in the community where everybody joined in, including these youths. Persons were in tears, persons looked stressed out, persons were traumatized, including Juki. So the people must say, no man, something right. Something about Juki that seems very suspicious. It seems as if on Tuesday gone, Juki decided he was going to take himself into the Popo station and confess to where the body of Lisa was. The Popo went with them shovel and picklock and hoe and everything and dig up the spot. Found this young lady, they then took Juki into custody. Now people, I want you to listen to what the mother had to say and the next community member had to say as it pertains to Juki. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
He go to Cassava Primary School. I grew him from my 10-year-old. And him same leave, him come back. Same leave, him come back. Him leave and him come back. I went to town Saturday to get some things like what you see about the star there. And when I come back, I don't see my daughter because she always there for me, so 2 years so. And the boy up and down with me Saturday night, Sunday night, whole night. I couldn't tell me Mr. Kirkside, him kill my daughter. I sleep all in my house with me. I'm like I have a spirit in me, Mr. Kirk, and I said to him, say, I wonder if you and your friend they make up and take one babe and go kill babe. Him say, Bo.
Even Sunday we had a prayer meeting at the shop and the call for the family to pray for them. And Juki present himself, he was there.
This Juki's a suspect?
Yes. And the church prayed because they say family and he's a part of the family. So he came and the church did pray.
What was his body language like every time?
Well, he looked anxious, he's anxious. I don't know, something about Juki was off.
So people, you heard what the mother had to say. You heard what an ex-community member had to say. This mother took in this youth as a juvenile. Send him go to school. Yes, he would have some sorts of prodigal syndrome where he would leave and then he would come back. He was comfortable. He got his food. He did everything. He was working. He was like a handyman. He did odd jobs here and there. He was not really gainfully employed. However, the family still looked out for him like a family. Like I said, he is not BLOOD. The lady have 3 girls, no son, so therefore she took him in. She treated him like a son. And this is exactly what she got back. In return, STABBED in the bag by Juki. Isn't that ironic? Moral of the story is this. Not everybody that you see deserves your help and accommodation. Sorry for Maga Dog, him turn round and bite you. And this is yet an perfect example. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news is an update about a story that I spoke about a couple of days. And this is based on a couple of pictures and videos that have been making its round over social media, where it is clearly seen that a little 4-year-old was in his bed sleeping. And you saw a man came over him with a knife. That man was piercing his chest with the knife, and then he commenced to start juke up this little youth. He was rushed to the General Hospital, one of the main hospitals in the country, which would have been Brazil. It is not Jamaica. However, he would survive even though his injuries were severe. Now, when I posted this video in my WhatsApp groups, persons were very concerned because of the graphic nature and the brutality of the video. Persons said, I could not even watch this as a parent, as a mother, as a father. But they were very interested. Was this Jamaica? No, people like me say Brazil. What is the situation with the little boy? The little boy is doing good. He is recovering. What is the situation with the father? The father tried to take care of himself. However, he was not very successful, like me say. He is presently in the custody of the Popo. As soon as I get any more information, even though this is not Jamaica, but because of the fact that this is a little child and because of the fact that most of us are parents and we care about children, whether that child is overseas, internationally or locally, As soon as I get some more pertinent information, I'll be sure to divulge ASAP. Point blank and period.
Get much stuff.
So the next thing that is popping in the news, whenever you decide to go in any sorts of new relationship, not only do you need to do your due diligence, vet your partner, you have to also seem to run the background on the partner's ex. See if he or she is stable, if he mad or she's mad, sick or them head no goods. Mr. Joseph in St. Anne's would learn the hard way. So apparently, Mr. Joseph took up a young lady. They were in some sorts of relationship. That young lady, Mrs. Douglas, had just left a relationship that at best we could say it is rocky. ABUSIVE, all of the bad stuff. Nevertheless, Mr. Joseph thought that Chevrolet Douglas, he would be the shoulder that she could lay on in her distress. He would comfort her. He would make situation better. I guess he did not realize the monster that Chevrolet was in a relationship with prior to him. Based on the information, it is said that Mrs. Douglas left to go pay her partner. While she was paying her partner, she crossed paths with the man that was to be her KILLE, her the ex. There was some sorts of argument, disputes. It is said that Chevrolet jumped on the phone, called Joseph. Joseph in him house, in him underwear, no shoes, no nothing, run come out to rescue Chevrolet. It seems as if it was the mistake that he made. And people, I am not saying that if your woman is in distress, do not come out and be the hero. But me just say, be very careful, because at the end of the day, after it is all said and done, the ex of Chevrolet took away the new man of Chevrolet. So therefore, one is gone and one is going to be going to the big yard, and Chevrolet will have to find a new man. So the question you have to ask whenever you get in any sort of relationship, do the pros and cons, do the risk analysis. Is it worth it for a relationship, for somebody that has been in some sort of, let's call it not so good relationship, to save her? Is your life going to be at risk? Because people, we've seen this many, many times. A lot of times, these women know exactly who they are getting into relationship with. And when it gets sour, they are surprised. They then go and pick up a next man, a next relationship. And then that individual ends up in the trickle-down effect, in the mix-up and passa, end up losing his life, being the innocent one in all of this. And then at the end of the day, the person who is, and I'm not going to say cause this, the motive behind all of this, the reason why this man lost his life, moves on with their life. So therefore, one in the big yard, one in the graveyard, and then she is looking for a next one. So life goes on for her. She might cry for a couple of days, and then it is on to the next one, as sad as it sounds. Point blank and period. So the next thing that is popping in the news, it seems as if SEAFORT is about to break out like some sorts of sore. This is based on some preliminary information that I got, that it is said that at least 3 men were conned up in a SEAFORT square. There were at least 4 men there. Somebody come blaze up the place. 3 of them get conned up, don't know their condition as we speak. 1 of them take for themselves. If we remember, a couple of days ago, a young man lost his life in a SEAFORT. He was blazed up a couple of times, at least 11. Based on the information that I got, it is said that some individuals wanted some sorts of tool that he had, so therefore them blaze him up. There was also a next instance in which a young man was taken in for questioning. In that incident, he is presently in the custody of the Popo. So people, when I hear stuff like this in a SEAFORT, and I know that there's a couple of gangs, well, not a couple, many gangs in a SEAFORT, specifically Blacksmith Lane. So whenever you hear Blacksmith Lane, you think that it is going to be them and their rivals. Their rivals are responsible, but it seems as if the people just make some sorts of getaway through Blacksmith Lane. And what makes it even worse, in this latest Pipe Up, it is said that after this smoke clear, the people, meaning the assailants, them run go Blacksmith Lane once again. The people that got caught up there from all over the place. So therefore, it is not a Blacksmith Lane versus the next rival lane. It is just people from all over the place. The people them blaze up one individual for a stool. Them run go Blacksmith Lane. In this case, second instance, Pipe out. Somebody or the people them run go Blacksmith Lane once again. So it seems as if Blacksmith Lane is going to get a whole bunch of black eye. Are the individuals that are responsible for these Pipe up and take away from Blacksmith Lane? It is yet to be determined. However, you know, when it comes to the ops, if them here say 2 instances back to back Blacksmith Lane is going to get the blame. Blacksmith Lane is going to be targeted because these people are fully done. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. I'll be pinning the link to that channel in the description of this video. Bless up.